Light the beam. Maybe the most complete game the Sacramento Kings have played this season. It's all over. The final 129-94 post-game show. Ryan and Sacktown coming up next right here if you don't like that.
2, 1, go.
Sacramento miscue. Carter. Stolen by Williams. And look at this. Oh, you don't like that. You don't like NBA basketball.
Fox. Goodbye. Oh, if you don't like that, you don't like NBA basketball. The exclamation point from De'Aaron Fox. Oh, if you don't like that, you don't like NBA basketball.
Boy, that's an ESPN highlight right there. Whoa. Carlson comes in. How about this? Holy moly, Jim Bob Foley. That is a major league smush.
Ryan, Sacramento completely dismantled the Milwaukee Bucks. Awesome win, 129-94. I'm going to start off by saying thank you very much, Alex, for the super chat donation. We greatly appreciate that. Most complete win of the season without a couple of key players?
Yeah, by far. Milwaukee never leads in the game. The Kings, you look at the adversity they dealt with. There were some bad whistles, as we've talked about, but then injuries. Great job by them tonight all the way around.
Tremendous job. You lose Lyles at the half. He's got a knee issue. We'll wait and see what the word is on that. You didn't play with Keegan Murray, and you don't even allow the Bucks to score 100 points. I mean, it was a combination to me of two things in this game. The Kings played great, and the Bucks played awful, and that combination resulted in this lopsided score. Again, I'm trying to think off the top of my head of the games that we've covered this year, and we've done all of them. I don't know if I've seen the Kings play a better 48-minute game than they did tonight.
No, hands down. To me, it's the best win of the season. You can talk about the Clippers game, right, where the Kings had a really good game in L.A. The first Minnesota game was a really good one for them on the road. But this one tonight, and it wasn't so much, you're right, Milwaukee didn't have their best stuff, but I feel like Sacramento kind of led Milwaukee down that path. They're like, hey, we think we can get you here. Why don't you follow us? And it worked.
Nice to have a breather before you got the Lakers tomorrow, who are in Sacramento, and they were watching this game. And again, you know, that if you can win tomorrow, oh boy, I mean, that gives you great momentum going into the rest of this homestand. You know, if you lose tomorrow, I guess I'm going to look at this from a different perspective than maybe others. If you had told me before tonight that the Kings would go 1-1 in the Milwaukee Lakers game, I would have taken that, you know, so now get greedy, win both of them.
Yeah, 100%, Grant. And I'll go a step further. This was the game I thought they had to have, because I think all bets are off for tomorrow night, because the Kings have won 7 of 8 against the Lakers. AD, you know, his record against Sabonis, they're going to come in and they're going to be ready to play, especially Grant, when you can pick up a whole game in the loss column.
No question about that. So again, the 129-94, the real downside of this game was the injury to Trey Lyles. Now we don't know the severity. We'll find out more after, you know, in a little bit, and then tomorrow. But if they don't have Lyles tomorrow, and I'm saying if, I don't know that, and if they don't have Murray, you know, we talk about matchups, right? Those are two key pieces out against a Lakers team with the matchups that, you know, the Kings have been able to exploit in the previous 3 games.
Exactly. You can kind of hide Sabonis when they're playing these lineups and they go small when you're running his own defense. But I don't know that the Kings can really zone the Lakers a whole lot or as much as they did Milwaukee, because they've got a few players that can bust that in the middle. So, yeah, Mike Brown's going to have to get creative. But everybody that came in tonight was ready to go. And Grant, for as inconsistent as the Kings have been this year, when guys leave the rotation and then get another chance to come back in, they've played really well most times.
Sacramento won all 4 quarters in this game. They win it 129-94. So great to have New Works Plumbing with us. Remember, folks, for your plumbing needs and repairs, go to sackserviceplumbing.com or call the number on your screen. They're available around the clock 24/7. New Works Plumbing, they've got a fix for you. That's sackserviceplumbing.com. Final tonight, 129-94. Light that beam, and maybe you keep it lit with the Lakers in town tomorrow at 7 o'clock. We got all the coverage for you, Ryan, with the pregame at 6:30. Jerry joins us at halftime, and then we'll be right back doing this postgame show 24 hours from now. And will we be talking about another Kings victory? Well, if they play the way they did tonight, the answer will be yes, because tonight the Kings were A+ across the board. I give them an A+ in every aspect of the game in this contest. Give them an A+.
Yeah, I'm not sure how you can't, Grant. I mean, turnovers, they were low. I know De'Aaron had 4 of them, but still, that's not too bad. Great job by the Kings. And hey, I think we should probably take some calls. You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready for it.
All
Let's
right,
do it, buddy.
Let's do it. Hey, Dirk, welcome into the post-game show. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing very good. After attended the Houston game, did not leave very happy there. In fact, I was getting a little apathetic about this team, but then of course they pull you right back in by handling the Bucks like they did. Shout out to Keon Ellis, plus 27 tonight. How amazing was his defense? Lillard couldn't get anything going. And Sabonis had 0 turnovers. When's the last time Sabonis had no turnovers in a game?
Yeah, it's been a while.
I mean, I understand we've got a lot of high usage you expect out of him, but I thought he had some challenges grabbing some boards. I thought this might be the game, at least in the first half. I thought this might be the game the double-double streak potentially could end, and then he comes through and just has a pretty complete game. Just super happy with this team. I hope we bring it to the Lakers tomorrow. But that's all I had to say. Go Kings.
Thank you. Appreciate
Kings.
it. I'll tell you, I also think Harrison Barnes benefits, and I don't, this is not, I'm not criticizing Keegan Murray. I'm just talking about players on the court. We've seen a couple of games this year where Murray does not play, and Harrison Barnes looks like a different player because he's more involved and he moves up the ladder, so to speak. And I thought Harrison Barnes had a very solid game tonight.
Yeah, and it comes off of a game where the Kings showed the ability to play team basketball together in the first quarter against the Rockets. But when that ball moves to Harrison and he's touching it, he just brings a different element to the Kings, a little bit more down low than Keegan Murray can bring. And it really helps on nights like this. There's no doubt about that. Hey, we are going to go back to the phones. We bring in the guy that shaved his 16-year-old beard last year on this show. John, welcome in.
Can you hear me, guys?
We can hear you.
All right. Man, who knew, Grant? We talked earlier today, and I thought that the Kings were just overmatched. You know, I understood that Keegan Murray was out, but one of the texters came in, Adam, I think his name was, and talked about going small. And then, man, I hopped on board with that and going small. It seemed to be the recipe for the Kings defensively this evening. And I think that might be another recipe that may work well for these Kings going forward. Do you guys agree with that?
Nate?
I think it depends on the matchups and who you're playing. Against certain teams, I think going small is very beneficial because I think the Kings smalls are better than a lot of other teams, and I think the matchups favor them, but not against all teams. You know, a lot depends on the lineup and about, you know, the opposition. So, you know, we'll see from game to game. But I love the way Mike Brown coached this game. I got to be honest, I didn't like having Sabonis and Fox on the floor with 5 minutes left to go in the fourth quarter. I think that's stupid. But other than that, you know, and I'm nitpicking here, but I thought Mike Brown coached a beautiful game tonight.
Yep.
Yeah, hey, I kind of agree with you at the end of the game, having both of those guys on the floor. That was maybe a little risky. But, man, going small ball early, because I thought Lyles would start. And then when, you know, in Ryan's pregame show and stuff, people started talking about going small ball. And I thought about it, and I started agreeing with that. And, man, it really seemed to work. And it could work going forward because our team is so fast. And these guys practice against each other. Yep. And when you practice against fast guys like De'Aaron Fox and Malik Monk, all these other guys are going to become faster too, and it seemed to work tonight against. Hey, check it out. The Bucks are a better team than us. They are better than the Kings. That's all there is to it. But the Kings played better tonight against them, and we got a huge victory. It was great, guys. The beam's lit too. I can see it in my backyard.
Awesome.
Love it.
John,
John,
good hearing from you, my friend. Thank you very much.
Hey, you guys are the best. Ryan, great job on your podcast.
thank
Grant, keep it up, man.
Thank you, buddy.
We're going to keep doing it, guys.
Appreciate it, John. Thank you very much for joining us right here as the Kings win at 129-94. I will say this. Tomorrow's game, I had the Kings a slight favorite just because of matchups. If Murray and Lyles don't play, it's a toss-up game in my opinion. What do you think?
I had before the Murray news, I had the Kings losing tomorrow night,
Okay.
regardless of the result tonight. I think actually the small ball might help them, but it's one of those things where you can't just put a foot into the shallow end. You got to jump all the way in the deep end and play fast, because that's what they did tonight. They pushed up their guards. They pushed Milwaukee out and made them start their offense different. So if you can do that, the Lakers are old.
Yeah, you know what? I like that observation. You're spot on, and I think it really disrupted the Milwaukee Bucks. Hey, I want to tell you about Bennett's with 3 locations. The West Side Grill in Rockland, they're in Roseville and Sacramento. If you go to bennettsrestaurants.com, you can make a reservation, check out the menu and more. Don't forget about their weekend brunch. They have happy hour specials during the week. Prime seafood and steak, awesome at Bennett's. Just go to bennettsrestaurants.com. That's bennettsrestaurants.com. Check it all out. You will love it. That's bennettsrestaurants.com. Sacramento 129, Milwaukee 94. I'm putting this down as the most complete and best win of the season. Do you agree or disagree, folks? I got this as the best win of the season to date.
Amen. You got another one on your bandwagon right there.
And isn't it interesting that almost 12 months to the day, the Kings lost to the Bucks at home, and I also thought it was their best game of the year, but they lost. Tonight they won, and I'm calling it their best game of the year.
Well, Grant, we're not even talking about the game on January 14th against Milwaukee, where it went to overtime and the Kings
without
missed
Fox
free throws. Yes. And I'll tell you, they have played the Bucks well. The record doesn't show it, but they have definitely played them well, Napes.
Yep.
We are going back to the phones. By the way, if you would like to join us on the phones, you can scan the QR code above Grant, or you can hit the pinned comment in the chat. Welcome in, Taylor.
Hey, guys. How you doing, Grant and Brian?
Good, Taylor. What's up?
Good.
Hey, great win by us, the Kings, tonight. You know, blowout win, like you said. We kind of struggled with the Bucks, you know, last year and everything, but great win by us. You know, my girl Chelsea, big fan of your show, big fan of the Kings. I just want to know, what do you think was different tonight, you know, on offense? We scored so many points on offense. What do you think we could do better, or what do you think is different than us doing this every single game against teams? With the Raptors, I know we're going to beat the Wizards. Not so good this season. But, you know, with the games coming up, what do you think we could do differently where we could score like this every game?
First of all, I want to say thank you for your call. I'm going to take you off the screen because you don't have the best connection, but we got your question, and Taylor, it's good hearing from you. Thank you very much. You asked a question like, I think what you're trying to say is, how can they duplicate this? I don't think they can duplicate this because I've already seen who the Kings are this year. They're a wildly inconsistent team, and we might be on the air 24 hours from now talking about a 30-point loss. And quite frankly, I'm not expecting that. The point I'm trying to make is it wouldn't surprise me. Like if the Kings go and get blown out tomorrow and we're on the air talking about this 24 hours from now, I'll just go, well, that's who the Kings are. You know, they're Jekyll and Hyde, and I'm still anticipating some very bad losses here in the final 18 games. I'm also expecting some tremendous wins.
Sure. Today changes nothing when it comes to that, other than just another great win to put in your resume. Taylor, 2 things that I would say. I'm with Grant. It can't be sustainable like this because of the reasons he said. But the Kings are 4th in the NBA, or they were 4th in the NBA coming into tonight in 2-pointers, in 2-point percentage, yet they're 25th in the NBA in 2-point attempts. So that tells you when the Kings get to the mid-range, they're effective. Also, free throws. I'm going to go back to last season on this one, Grant. I haven't told you this one yet. Last year, the Kings made 1,631 free throws. Made. This year, they've only attempted 1,331.
That's unbelievable. What do you attribute that to? So I saw that you put that out on social media, and I thought it was very interesting. I was not aware of that large of a disparity, but you've also had a chance to think about that. Now, why is that?
You know, Grant, you could point to a number of things. I think one thing that you certainly point to is De'Aaron Fox. When De'Aaron Fox is good, he's great. When he's not great, sometimes he struggles. And usually when he's great, he's going towards the basket. So this year, he's not gotten nearly as many foul calls. He's not shooting free throws at the same clip. Domantas Sabonis, same thing. He hasn't got a ton of calls, but he's not shooting them well either. So really what I think it comes down to, when you have two players that are in that type of play, that type of funk, that's just something that can kind of rub off on a team mentally. And you see it, and you see it in their play and the inconsistency.
Well, a big time win for Sacramento. Again, I think it's their best win of the year because I think it's their most complete win of the year. I was trying to think. I didn't see any lulls in this game. Do you really? They played 48 minutes and didn't have any lulls, and I love that.
Yes. So Brooke Lopez hit I believe it was a corner three in the third quarter. Mike Brown called a quick timeout. And after that, the Kings were able to put out the little fires that usually would start in a normal game for the Kings outside of tonight. So,
well, again, 129-94. Up next, the LA Lakers. So happy that you have been able to join us, and we appreciate the people on taking the time to dial us up and call us. And I think we got another caller. We want to get another person on the screen.
Yes, we do. We welcome Tony into the show. Tony, welcome on with Grant and Rhino.
How's it going, guys?
Hey, Tony.
Thought that was a pretty good win tonight. I think my only criticism was the fouls. I thought that they fouled maybe just a little too much, but in retrospect, that actually ended up helping him, I believe, during the game. What were you guys' takes on that?
You know, I like what Ryan said at halftime. I like that. It means they're aggressive. That means they're playing defense because, you know, you foul a lot of times when you're playing aggressive and you're playing defense. And so I'd rather see that than, you know, guys playing 35 minutes and only having one or two fouls personally.
Yeah, I also was looking forward to tomorrow's game, but I think it's going to be difficult, like what you're saying, without Murray, because he's kind of an integral.
We don't know that.
Part.
We don't know.
Oh, we don't. Okay.
Assuming, right.
Assuming he doesn't play, they're going to be put in a tough position. I believe.
Yeah. Well, he's your guy that can float back and forth between LeBron and AD, meaning he can get on a switch on AD once in a while.
Yeah. Yeah, that's all I have for you guys.
Thank you. You know, we look around the league, and I don't know if you saw the news, but Kawhi Leonard left the game after the first quarter tonight. They were at home and they lost to Minnesota, and he actually left the arena, and they were calling it thoracic spasms. Now, I'm not really sure what that means in layman terms. In other words, I guess what I'm saying is I don't know if that's something that he's going to be fine in an hour but it was a big enough concern where he got in his street clothes and left the arena because it was too uncomfortable for him to sit.
That's incredible. Well, I mean, personally, we hope he's okay. SDSU alum. Love you, Kawhi. But hey, if the Kings are going to get breaks, they're going to get breaks. And it continues to happen in the Western Conference. Cat just had his knee surgery, Grant.
There you have it. He's going to be reevaluated in 4 weeks. I'm not a doctor, and so I don't want to speculate too much, but I got to believe that he's not going to be around for the first round of the playoffs. Hey, I want to tell you about CalusaSunrise.com and this project from Blazona Development. It is Sunrise Landing, and you can check out their various models, beautiful, no Mellorews, no homeowners. All you need to do is go to CalusaSunrise.com. You can check it out. Again, we are talking about Sunrise Landing from Blazona Development. No problem to go out there and check it out. Calusa, it's a beautiful area to be in. Go to CalusaSunrise.com from Blazona Development. Again, the name of the project is Sunrise Landing. Again, go to CalusaSunrise.com and see for yourself. So happy that you were with us here on the post game as the Kings roll. The beam is lit, 129-94.
And they head into the second night of a back-to-back against the Lakers, which promises to be a fun rivalry game.
Yep. Going to be great. That is going to be fun. It's LeBron, it's AD, it's the hated Lakers. You know there are going to be those obnoxious Laker fans in the arena tomorrow, like always. And it's been nice over the last few years to shut them up and send them home pissed off. So we'll see if they can do that again tomorrow.
Amen, Napes. Hey, we're hitting the phones again. We're bringing in our man Chang. Chang, welcome to the show tonight.
Hey, Grant, Ryan. And I just want to comment. I think you brought something really to me that I've been looking at too. It's the free throws. And to me, the main person that when you look at the difference between the free throws this year and last year, again, Fox and Sabonis aren't making as much, but it's actually Harrison Barnes. Last year, Harrison Barnes was attempting 5 free throws per game, and this year he's only attempting 2.3. And I almost feel like when you watch the style of this team play this year, I guess my perception is it's this active, more pace, just kind of go push the game and don't slow the game down. And I feel like maybe that's the opposite idea of going to the free throw line, kind of slowing the game down. So do you feel like this is an active choice by Mike Brown saying like, don't get to the free throw line as much, just kind of actively push the pace? Or do you feel that it's because we're not playing through Harrison Barnes anymore? Because that to me is the biggest thing from Harrison Barnes from last year. This year was, I felt like last year where we needed a bucket, Harrison would always just drive and just kind of give us some free throw attempts to kind of slow the game down for us.
Well, I think the Kings are a jump shooting team. I think they're a 3-point shooting team. And generally speaking, when you play that style of basketball, you don't get to the line as much. Now, there's a lot more to it than that, but I'm just starting with the simplistic aspect of this. Ryan?
Yeah, and, De'Aaron Fox, he's getting some more 3-point looks. Keegan Murray, they're trying to get him more involved. I think, in my heart of hearts, and Grant, I can't wait for exit interviews and some of the reporting after the season, because to me, it feels a little bit more of a schematic thing, because it's not like Harrison can't play. Harrison has shown he can play and sometimes turn it on just like that.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you this. The Kings are going to need a very big game from Harrison Barnes tomorrow if Keegan Murray and Trey Lyles can't play. Harrison Barnes is a guy that you're going to need to play 38, 40 minutes tomorrow and play very well in all likelihood for the Kings to win. Now, what we have seen in the matchups since Sabonis has come to Sacramento, he has owned Anthony Davis. Davis doesn't have a win against the Kings with Sabonis on the team, if I'm not mistaken. I'm doing this off the top of my head, but I believe AD has not beat Sabonis when AD is on the floor. Now, maybe the Kings, lost to the Lakers when Anthony Davis wasn't in the lineup. But the point is, I believe I read after the win last week, and again, I'm doing this off the top of my head.
You're right. It was 8 or 9 in a row.
He was 0-8. Sabonis has really been able to own him. But, okay, I'm going to look at this 2 different ways tomorrow. I think the Kings are a better team than the Lakers. I've said that. I think this year they're a better team than the Lakers. I know the Lakers last year went to the Western Conference Finals, but that's last year. I think the Kings are a better team than the Lakers, and I think they're a better team because of the matchups. I think the matchups favor Sacramento. However, there are 2 things that make me a little nervous about the game tomorrow. The first is the Lakers have lost all 3 meetings to the Kings this year. They're a veteran team, okay? I can guarantee you that's not sitting well with them, because they know that they may have to go through Sacramento to make the playoffs. So that's number 1. Number 2, okay, the Kings, if they don't have Murray and Lyles and are playing on the second night of a back-to-back, that's a disadvantage for them, right? So this game tomorrow makes me a little nervous from Sacramento's perspective.
How about you, Chang?
So, I think the reason why we played so well against the Bucks tonight is same thing against Lakers. They don't have a point attack defender to contain Fox and Monk. And I agree with Grant. I think the only thing is, do we have enough energy to play fast tomorrow? Because I think, to me, that's going to be a clear idea if we can play well against the Lakers tomorrow, because we need to play fast with Fox and Monk and our small ball lineup to really just pretty much allow them to, Lakers can't set their defense. We can drive in, have the same, pretty much game plan as last time. But I'm just worried that the guys might be tired. They played a great game tonight. They were able to rest. but I think it really depends on the energy they can kind of provide tomorrow if they can run.
Yeah, I don't know if I would say the Kings were able to rest tonight. Sabonis played 34 minutes. Fox played 32. Barnes played 32. Monk off the bench played 29. So that's a pretty good sweat. Here's what I do know about the Lakers and the Kings. Fox loves playing against the Lakers and has owned the Lakers this year, right? So to me, if the Kings are going to win this game tomorrow, Ryan, I think we're going to have to be on this show 24 hours from now talking about another tremendous game by De'Aaron Fox. If not, I don't think they'll win.
I'm with you, Napes, 100%. And depending on how creative or spicy Mike Brown wants to get, I would be playing Malik some heavy minutes tomorrow, regardless of his minutes tonight, because he's going to have to be that spark with De'Aaron.
And there's no reason to think that he can't do that. I mean, that's the year he's having. I mean, he's going to be the sixth man. He's going to be the sixth man of the year, is he not?
Yes, I agree. I was just going to ask you, is there any scenario that he is not the sixth man of the year?
Yeah, if he were to get hurt tomorrow and miss the remainder of the year, he probably wouldn't win it. But anything short of that, yeah, I think he's going to win the sixth man of the year. I do. I mean, I don't even think it's going to be close, to be honest with you.
Well, we also thought Domantas Sabonis, who has 47 straight double-doubles, passing Lucas today.
Yeah.
Come on. He doesn't even make the All-Star team, and then you've got De'Aaron Fox. I mean,
it's a disgrace. It's a disgrace.
I mean, you have to put Sabonis first team All-NBA this year, don't you?
He's not going to be first team All-NBA. A guy that doesn't make the All-Star team is not going to be first team All-NBA. He'll be second or third, but he's not going to be first team.
Okay. Interesting. Hey, Chang, you always make the show so much better. Thank you so much for the call tonight, buddy.
Thanks, guys.
Chang, you're great, man. We really do appreciate it. Excellent stuff. I'll tell you what else is excellent, and that is Gold Country Veterinarian Hospital. They are located in Auburn, and they serve the foothills, Roseville, and the greater Sacramento areas. They're a full-service veterinarian, medicine, dentistry, surgery, and wellness care. They do it all. They're dedicated to urgent care. Here's the bottom line. When your pet needs to be seen, they're available. All right. They have advanced internal medicine, full surgical care. They have the best of everything. And I really mean that. And they also have the most modern technology, from CO2 laser treatments. I mean, they have laser surgery, therapeutic laser treatments. They have everything. And they're very good in pain management protocol, which expedites the recovery of your pet. So when it comes to making sure that your pet is in the best hands, don't forget about Gold Country Veterinarian Hospital in Auburn. They are awesome.
Hey, Napes, can you do me a favor?
Yes, sir.
Can you ask Dr. Griffiths if they take my health insurance?
Yeah. Hey, you know what? I got to tell you, you're doing pretty well after your 2 hip replacements. So I'm not so sure that I would want to call up Dr. Griffiths and go, Ryan's thinking about getting his hips replaced from you. You know what? Knowing Dr. Griffiths, he could probably do it and do it very well. But I doubt that he would have the hardware in his office to put into your body. I just have a feeling that he would have to, figure out,
go to Home Depot,
a medical supply company, to go, hey, I have to replace 2 hips, not in a pet, but in a human. Can you help me out? Okay.
Exactly. They probably know a dog that's like ready to get a new replacement, and they think they might be able to use the old one. So I'd probably just get anyways. I want to ask you a question, because we're talking about Malik Monk and him possibly being, or we believe he should be, the 6th man of the year. There's some reports out there that Klay Thompson may fetch anywhere between 20 and 25 million in the offseason per year. What do you think Malik Monk is worth?
I don't know. I can't give you an exact number, Ryan. And the reason for that is I think the cap is going to go up again this summer. But I can tell you this, he's going to be making a significant amount more than he is currently.
Yeah, it's going to be a raise, and do the Kings pay it? If they can, I think you should. You can't count on having, he passed Bobby Jackson tonight for most assists by a player off the bench in Sacramento Kings history in 2 years.
How about that? I mean, think about that for a minute, right? All right, so you asked me a question. I'll ask you, what do you think? What do you think his dollar amount is going to be? What do you think we're talking about with his contract?
I think if you look at what Kyle Kuzma and some of the other guys that I kind of put Malik Monk in the same tier with, they're right around 28, 29, 30 million a year. I think Malik's number's right around 28, especially if Harrison's right around 21.
I don't think he's going to get 28 from the Kings. I really don't.
I don't know if you let him. I get, and shout out to the Stockton Kings who are playing great basketball right now. They're doing some good things down there, but that young core is not ready to play for Sacramento yet.
No,
No.
you know, the G League is the G League. Okay,
Yeah.
I mean, no disrespect. I love Isaiah Thomas, but the guy hasn't played in years, and he gets off his, gets out of the gym and goes and dominates in his first 2 games. He looks like all world. Now, I'm a gigantic Isaiah Thomas fan, okay? And I would love to see him back in the NBA, but he's had several opportunities and he can't get anything more than a 10-day contract, and he hasn't played in over a year, and he goes to the G League and he looks like all world. I mean, the G League is what it is. Let's not overrate the G League.
No, it is the G League, but I think it's useful. It serves its purpose for what
They don't have any Malik Monks down there in Stockton, okay?
No, Colby Jones is not Malik Monk.
Right.
But I will say, hey, Grant, I was in Stockton a couple weeks ago, and I saw a game.
Yep.
I got to talk to Mason Jones briefly, got to talk to Kessler. They've got some chemistry down there, and I know a lot of those guys. We saw Kessler. He may be a key tomorrow night for this Kings team. I think he's a player that gets some minutes against the Lakers.
Okay. Well, I tell you, if you don't have Murray and if you don't have Lyles, you may need some help tomorrow, right?
Yeah, certainly. It's all hands on deck tomorrow night. And that's why I'm saying I think this team in some levels, you have to say the bench has been firing mostly on all cylinders the last 5-6 games.
Yeah, well, okay, but maybe that's true. But I keep on looking at the big picture.
Sure.
They just lost to Houston. They got a gift to beat the Spurs in overtime.
Yeah.
The week before that, they lost to the Bulls at home. I mean, who are the real Sacramento Kings? We keep on asking that question, and I keep on answering it with, I don't really know, because I watched the Kings play tonight, and I go, wow. Like, really, I was saying, wow, tonight. That was a great performance. That wasn't a good performance. That was a great performance. But this is the same team that 48 hours ago I watched get their ass kicked by the Houston Rockets.
Mm-hmm. And it's just who the team is, Grant. I mean, that's why we were able to predict this. When they have a bad loss, they'll have a good win. It's what it is, and that's why we're so worried about tomorrow night with the letdown. And I think you got to embrace it. But here's what this Sacramento Kings team is ultimately to me. We've got March Madness coming up, right?
Yep.
They're like a 12 seed. They're like a 14 seed. They just need a ticket to the dance, and all bets are off. We don't need to talk about their season stats. They could make some noise.
I agree. And the reason why I say that is because they have a dynamic player at the point guard. And when De'Aaron Fox is motivated, or maybe motivated, it's not the right word, but you know what I mean? When he's on, the Kings are a very difficult team to beat.
Absolutely. And look at the West too, Grant. I mean, is there a clear-cut favorite in the West? There's not for me.
No, it's up for grabs. It's up for grabs.
Hey, I want to tell you about, how often?
Oh, I'm sorry. Let me just tell you about Foster's and Paws real quick, and then we'll get to you, because they are a group of passionate animal advocates. They work hard to save lives, and they understand that rescue is hard. They primarily focus on those vulnerable dogs in shelters, and they pull a lot of pregnant moms, nursing moms, bottle puppies, dogs with medical needs, dogs in danger of being euthanized. And they do look at every family and every animal as individuals. And I love the fact that they work with young people to teach them the lifelong benefits of having pets. They are looking for adopters, donors, and fosters. To learn more, just go to fostersandpaws.org/adopt. That's fostersandpaws.org/adopt. 129 to 94. Finish your thought there, Rhino. Sorry to cut you off, buddy.
I lost my train of thought. We're good. It came and it left. So.
You lost your train of thought.
It left the station.
Hey,
No,
only people my age. Only people my age are supposed to lose their train of thought. Not a young pup like you. No pun intended from Fosters and Paws, but not a young pup like you. Okay.
No. I'm just kidding. I was gonna say, actually, with the Kings, we got to take a step back because we've been really. I don't want to say we've been negative, but we've focused a lot on the negatives of their performances this year. But at the end of the day, just what I said, if this team gets in, how often, regardless of whether you're building and you're in your championship window, do you get 2-3 years where the West is wide open?
It is wide open.
And so that's why it's like, okay, things have been rough up until this point, but if they show up like that in a playoff series, they're going to play a series or two.
I don't think there's any team that's above Sacramento that's licking their chops to get them in a playoff series because it's going to be a frenetic pace and you have a dynamic combo in Fox and Sabonis with, I think, the 6th man of the year coming off the bench. And let's face it, on nights when the Kings are shooting the ball well, they're going to win most of those games. And you got to have 4 of those in a 7-game series. But again, I don't want to put the cart ahead of the horse. You got to get there first. And I think Dallas has the easiest path of the schedules head-to-head against Phoenix and Sacramento. The Phoenix schedule is brutal. They got a brutal schedule. One of those games is in Sacramento, the second to last game of the year. Dallas has a relatively easy schedule after these next 3. They got the Warriors tomorrow. They should win that, or I think Thursday, maybe tomorrow. And then after that, they have Oklahoma City and Denver. I could see them losing both games. But after that, their schedule gets relatively easy, whereas the Kings schedule and the Suns schedule is very difficult.
And you just got to hope for a let up, right? You got to hope that team's focused on the playoffs and they already know where they're going to be and they just don't bring it tonight because sometimes we see that.
And you better hope that Fox and Sabonis don't take a bad step where they're out for a couple of games because that would derail everything. I mean, you look at what happens with Phoenix when they don't have Devin Booker in their lineup. I mean, we can go and talk about all teams. So you got to just knock on wood, and you have to hope that Trey Lyles' injury is not too bad and that you can get Keegan Murray back either tomorrow or for the following game against the Knicks. Is it
Knicks,
the Knicks?
Yeah, it's the Knicks after the Lakers. Have you heard anything on Vezenkov? I know he's been taking some shots at practice and been more active, but that could be somebody that we pay closer attention to.
Great point. Great point. And the question is, at this juncture of the season, how would Mike Brown indoctrinate him back into the lineup? And like, how many minutes would you give him? Now, again, if Lyles were to be gone for a significant period of time, and again, I want you to listen to me, everyone. If, then maybe that opens up the window for Vezenkov once he's ready, you know?
Yep. No doubt. It could. And I think Mike Brown's not going to be shy about playing him if he's ready. But yeah, it's going to be a little bit of a process. He's been out for a while and you got to get back in shape.
Yeah. And basketball shape and shape is 2 different things.
100%. And don't forget, even though he's not technically a rookie because he's played a lot of basketball, he's never played playoff basketball. So he has no idea what that's going to be like.
How about the fact that the Kings had not beat the Bucks? I want to say I saw that they had lost 15 consecutive games to Milwaukee coming into this. How about that?
I believe it dated back to 16 is what I saw. Yeah. And it's just one of those things. The Kings have certain teams where they've got streaks. I feel like the Knicks in Madison Square Garden, that's one. The Kings just can't win there.
Yeah. All right.
But yeah.
So, all right, I'm going to throw out you like analytics in terms of certain numbers.
Certain, yes.
The Sacramento Kings this year, after the win tonight, are now 5-0 when Ellis starts. Is that just, one of those things, or is there more to it than that because of he's a good fit with the other guys?
I think there's something to it, and here's why. There's an indirect pressure to get Kevin Huerter shots. The Kings don't run many set plays, but one of the regular ones that they'll run usually in the first 6 minutes of a game is the DHO, right? So with Keon on the floor, I don't think there's any expectation of getting him shots, which allows him to move into that role defensively to do all the stuff that doesn't show up. And if he can knock down a shot, great. And Davion Mitchell, we haven't said his name in the last 8 games coming into tonight. He's been shooting 54% from beyond the arc.
You're right. We haven't really talked about him that much. You're right. You know,
so it feels, Grant, is there a team in the NBA that's deeper, but feels like they're the least deep team in the NBA? Does that make any sense? Because that feels like the Kings on some nights.
Yeah, it does. And I sit here and I talk about how great tonight was. A+. I grade the Kings at an A+, and yet I have no confidence in them going out and doing the same thing tomorrow.
But is that because of their performances this year, or is that because of the matchups and the situation with the Lakers?
No, I like the matchups with the Lakers. I think they match up very well against the Lakers, and they've shown that in the previous 3 games. It's because the Kings are Jekyll and Hyde. They're inconsistent, and we've seen them come off. Well, you talked about the Clippers game 2 weeks ago, right? Back to back. They came home and played a Bulls team that they should have beat, and they lost, right? There are too many of those situations where you are left scratching your head and you're like, wait, how did that happen? You know, it's the same thing. Last week they beat the Lakers, correct? And then they come home and play the Spurs and
almost lose.
And they got a gift. They got an absolute gift at the end of the game. So I don't know what to expect from Sacramento other than this. The Lakers seem to bring out the best in Sacramento. That's what I would say. Yeah,
they do. It's something about the LA teams in general.
Yeah.
Whenever you said it earlier, Fox and Monk too, they can't get enough of it.
I'll say this. I'd rather be playing the Lakers tomorrow than the Pistons.
100%. Great point. Great point, Grant. Great point.
I mean, I like the Kings when they're playing against
full strength. And at full strength. Give us everybody. Give us the equipment manager, everyone.
Oh my God. Petey Jones says, Grant, your show is too negative. Well, then, Petey, turn it off and go watch somebody else then, okay? Go turn it off. Don't waste your time. Go away. Goodbye. You know, the one thing about tomorrow is, as I said, there are going to be a lot of Laker fans in attendance with their jerseys on. And I've always thought this over the years. There's nothing better than shutting up the Laker fans, because I think of all the fan base groups, including the Warriors, they are by far the most obnoxious fans that come into the arena every year.
Yeah, it's a miracle that one of my best friends, Matt in LA, is a Lakers fan. Can you believe that? I'm really good friends with a Lakers fan. But yeah, killing the Lakers is a lot of fun. No doubt.
Well, I hope that this is maybe the best 24 hours of the Kings season. And I really mean that. This could be as good as any 24-hour period that the Kings have had this year if you can follow this up with a win tomorrow against a team that's trying to chase you down.
No doubt, Grant. 100%.
But I'm negative, so I don't want to be too positive.
Yeah, you've been so negative tonight. I can't believe how negative we've been.
Yeah. Petey says, Grant, I'm a Lakers fan. Well, Petey, I don't give a damn what you are. I don't care if you're a Lakers fan. If you're a Lakers fan, that answers the question of why you're so negative, because you're a Lakers fan. So if you're a Lakers fan, you're on the wrong stream. All right, come back tomorrow after the Kings kiss and kick your ass. Then you can come back and then you can talk some smack. All right, there you go.
Roasted. Is that a little rant there? I was like in between.
Well, I do know the Kings have owned the Lakers this year. That's what I do know.
They have.
They're 3-0, right?
They have indeed. And
go ahead. I want to get to this real quick because I think it's important. Grant, do you think Ellis proved his worth over Mitchell tonight? Gabe, it's an 82-game season. It's not a 5-game season. It's not a 10-game season. Okay, there have been games this year where Davion Mitchell has played very well. There have been many games where he hasn't. But it's not like, Keon Ellis is the next Michael Jordan, all right? I mean, let's not overvalue him. Let's just applaud him for how he played tonight and how he has been playing. But let's not just disregard the positives that Mitchell has had on this team as well.
Yeah, 100%. And actually, those two playing together have been part of the little spark that has helped this team.
Yes.
When they've played the last couple of games. Hey, everybody, I'm going to ask you one quick favor. Please give my podcast, The King's Court, a quick try. It's your daily insider Kings podcast. Get you ready for the Kings games and let you know what's going on that day. Go check it out on Apple, Spotify, and everywhere else.
And go check us out tomorrow, Ryan, with the pregame at 6:30, and then we will have the halftime with Jerry Reynolds and the postgame show. All I can tell you is tonight was an A+. What a great performance by Sacramento. I think it's their best game of the year, 129-94. Some final thoughts, my friend?
Nope. You take us home. Great win.
All right. Thank you, buddy. Well, again, I don't know what team will show up tomorrow, but if this team that we watch tonight against the Bucks shows up tomorrow, we will have that beam lit, and it will stay lit, and the Kings will win tomorrow. If the Kings team that showed up against San Antonio or Houston, right, is the team that's on the court tomorrow, they're going to lose. All right? So I like what I saw tonight. Big time. Thank you very much. Subscribe. Give us a thumbs up. We're back here in 24 hours. Actually, we're back here in less than 24, 30 minutes before the game with Ryan and Sacktown. Don't forget Jerry Reynolds, Thursday, 4 o'clock, right here as well. Have a great night, everybody. Kings win. Oh, if you don't like that, you don't like NBA basketball. Oh, boy.